All right, I had a member ask me to do a video on the circle and how the circle is everything. When we first see a circle, we think of zero, right? And zero is nothing, but to say something is nothing means that it is actually something. And a lot of people say, well, how can nothing come from something? Well, if we have a baseline reality, and let me just give you if we have a baseline reality, something like this, and we have four positive ions, four negative ions, if there's a balance on each side, you would say that there's nothing there, right? Four positive plus four negative equals zero. But there's a lot that can happen in between what we say isn't real and what actually manifests. And so it's a balancing act between one side and the other. If one has a million trees, a specific type of trees, the other one has a million, but one would have Merkaba going one way like ours does, and the other would have a reverse Merkaba going the other way. That would be the balancing of the realities. And when we talk about the circle, so the circle, there's no straight lines in nature. And so the circle is feminine. And the circle, there's two primal forces, fire and water. And the water is almost like neutral, but it becomes feminine when it reacts with the masculine. The masculine is the will, the action, the verb, the wanting, the thought to take action. The feminine is what holds and protects or embraces, encompasses that thought, that action. And, it's like if I was to shoot a bullet or any vector through fluid or water, it's going to create a sphere. So when you shoot it and it enters the fluidic space, it automatically creates a sphere. That's what all your cells are doing. All of your cells that are spheres, and everything that exists is a sphere. Even the most acute, obtuse, just crazy painting you've ever seen in your life. And when you look at the very smallest part, it comes in little bitty spheres. Everything is a sphere. And, when you look at cell division, so the Greeks and a lot of the cultures prior to Greek did their lettering based upon the division of cell division. So if you go through and you look at each process as a cell divides, that is what gave you the next letter. Whereas in the Hebrew tradition, it's all straight lines, right? It's a Metatronic writing system using the Star of David. The circle, so the circle is everything because, and this is going to follow me here, okay? So, and I'm forgetting all kinds of stuff I wanted to say. I want to say that right now. I had a whole list of things I wanted to say, but I wanted to get to this main point. Why is the circle everything? Well, first off, if I take a circle and I cut it in half and I swivel it over here, that gives me an S, right? That is a wave conjugation, right? So if I only had the masculine or if I only had the feminine, I would never have the sine wave, and the sine wave is what creates all creation. So whenever everything that exists, everything is made up, and when I say proton, black hole, or singularity, they're all interchangeable, okay? Larger black holes or larger minds that have been here longer, the logos, right? So like the sun would be the logos, then the earth would be the sub-logos. Man would be the sub-logos of the sun. In the same way, that is how the singularities work. And so we see well, I won't go there yet. So how does the circle tape form, right? And the circle, so you have a singularity, okay? A singularity is a mind. All is mind. And everything, when we look at the whole universe as a whole, it's a sphere, right? I have pictures posted on this page. And when we look at it at the tiniest spot, it's a sphere. Everything, everywhere is a sphere. Now, how are these spheres being created? And this is the most important part. Okay, so let's start. Let's start here. This is the original singularity, okay? This is the event horizon, the record player of the data that is coming off of it. Everything that exists is also in superposition because this is the actual reality, okay? Everything that happens from here, and the only thing that can release from a black hole is Hawking radiation, which is actually photons or qubits. So that's why I have all this stuff releasing here trying to show you that, okay? So they come up in a stream and they form this wormhole, all right? This wormhole comes up here and it's just like the forces I keep telling you about. Up the top, explosion, through the bottom, implosion. So here we have the initial event horizon. It pushes this wormhole up to create this holographic reality, and it forms the donut on this side, just like with man. We have a toroidal field that fills here. It does the exact same thing here. Now, these photons that come out here, these are probabilities, and this is the core U. So there's a gazillion trillion U's, all probabilities that are collapsing on themselves that are forming in different dimensions and universes. This is the photonic. So why is the whole universe a sphere? Well, because it's conservation of energy. So the universe will always make the least amount of space possible to hold the energy in place. So it's just like with cell division. When you see a cell go from 2 to 4 to 8, you will see that there's space in between where the cell is dividing, just like with our field. But it creates the sphere. It creates the sphere, a toroid, two donuts. It creates the sphere. So the circle itself and everything that exists is at the largest and at the smallest singularities that are built on top of each other, all these minds. So when we get, and that's why they say 99% of the universe is mind. And that is specifically because all there is are these little singularities or protons or black holes, and you're made up of trillions of these, and everything is moving in motion. So what is moving in motion is the oscillation of the black hole, of the proton, of the singularity, all the same thing. It's the oscillation of it that creates the chakras inside your body. All this is the same for everything. Something else I want to point out is when we reincarnate, each time with our soul families, we literally follow the flower of life. So you have all these different lives that you're going to live with all these different soul families, but it all completes the whole circle. It is the whole. The circle is everything. It encompasses everything. It is the feminine. It is what's holding, it's hugging, it's loving, protecting the positive charge. And you have to have both, because outside of that, the dark waters are neutral, right? It takes action. And when action happens, the plasma essentially creates its sentience and starts creating the interference patterns that help create the wave conjugations, the frequencies, vibrations that make up reality, that all make up the little toroids, and they're all little building blocks, and everything is built upon each other. That is the shortest version I can do on the circle. Hope you have a blessed day. Namaste.